Hello, I'm Caroline Goyder. I'm a voice coach, public speaker and the author of The Star Qualities. And we're here today in the Piccadilly Theatre because I'm going to be passing on some top tips for confidence, speaking well and making a really great impression. How to look confident. Now, this is something I've done a lot of research on because I wrote a book 2 years ago called The Star Qualities, which was all about what actors have learnt over the years about confidence. And when I started researching the book, I thought that the A-list actors I was talking to, even though I'd taught actors for years, would be confident. And what I learned, which has really helped me, is that no one is confident. Even Helen Mirren, Oscar-winning Helen Mirren, gets shaky hands when she has to make a speech. She told me. And when she has to go to the bar after a show, she feels nervous. So what that taught me is that actually no one really ever feels truly confident. Most of us inside are feeling a bit nervous. And the thing with confidence is that it's about the enthusiasm and the excitement about what you're doing that allows you to step over the nerves and get on with it. And actually feeling a little bit nervous or feeling a bit unsure makes you a nicer person, as long as you can step over it and get on with what you have to do. And in researching the book, I've learned a few tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you. I think the first thing that I learned from talking to people like Helen Mirren was that actually confidence is a lot about knowing what you do well and also having a sense of humour about what you can't do and standing somewhere in the middle of that, standing between your strengths and your weaknesses. Because the truth of the matter is that absolutely no one is perfect. And how boring if you were, it would be the most boring thing in the world. So allow yourself not to be perfect and then work on the skills that you want to develop and have a sense of humour about what you can't do. So the next thing is to think about what your inner critic is doing. This is the voice in your head that sometimes says, oh, you can't do that, or you're going to mess it up, you're not good at that. And this voice is something that most of us have got, but we really need to learn to turn it down when you're performing. It's useful sometimes, but definitely not when you're walking into a party or you're doing a job interview. So first of all, work out where it is. Is it high or low? Is it in the back of your head? Is it your parents' voice? Is it a teacher's voice? And then, once you've worked out what it is, you can turn it down. You can actually turn down the volume on it so that it stops. Or you can turn it into Mickey Mouse, which makes it a bit funny. Or the actor Bill Nye says he actually talks back to it and he says, what do you mean? Of course I can do it, I'll be fine. Then, once you've talked back to your inner critic, you can actually start to hear the voice that says, of course you can do it, you're going to be fine. And you can turn that voice up to give you confidence. You'll notice that you start to feel better as soon as you do that. The next step, if you're wanting a bit more confidence, is what's called acting as if, or fake it till you make it. All sorts of research has shown that if you imagine that you are someone with confidence, that it will help you. It actually changes your brain and it changes your behaviour. So often with clients, I've got them to imagine that they maybe are Helen Mirren, or they're a very confident businesswoman, or they're someone like Ewan McGregor going into a meeting. And that can actually give you a bit of confidence. And it can be anybody that you admire, that you want to be like. Just imagine walking into the meeting as them, and you'll just feel more confident even though no one else notices what you're doing. And the final tip is that if you really want confidence, you've got to address your physical state. Because nerves often are physical. We get a shaky voice, we get shaky hands, so it's really useful learning how to breathe and learning how to center your state. And I'd say go to a yoga class, learn a martial art, really learn how to get physically centered, because if you stay present, you will start to feel more confident and be much more open to people. So those are my tips for feeling more confident.